Yeah, I remember this. Everybody said, oh, they're crazy. How can they apply for such a big educational loan? But you know, I just told my father, I said, I have a feeling that I'm going to make up for it in UK. And I was lucky. I got admission instantly, and even the visa, like I just got it just instantly. Like things just fell in place from, maybe because I had the desire mental thing and the positive energy, they say it translates and makes things happen. So I went to UK. And we don't have any friends, nobody. So it was like staying in a hostel, working part-time, studying, volunteering. And, you know, we had this, you know, in England, study is very
so how long, what was the duration of your study?
Yeah, 1 year. Their master's is 1 year. Yeah.
So, really this is another interesting story which you have told us. See, when the things are not in favor, see, as the circumstances, family background, your all the setup to give you the boost was against you, against the current. And in fact, it's just not that it is just a good luck, but God's grace and your hard work and sincerity. I think that your sincerity, dedication to the cause, that has given you this result. And I'm sure, see, once you do something, there is one beautiful word in the one ghazal, you know, it says like, ghazal mein bandishein alfaz hi nahi kafi, jigar ka khoon bhi chahiye kuch asar ke liye. Means, if you're not just having good words is not sufficient to make the things beautiful. You should have the passion, a burning desire. I can say that burning desire of yours has taken you to this side. Just I would like to know that when you, after completing your graduation in the master's in that special, how you went ahead?
Yeah, you know, as I was doing my master's, I knew one thing is, like I got a job instantly after I completed my, actually when I was doing the degree, we were placed in a school. The school was very happy with my work and they said like, as soon as you complete your degree, you're going to join us. So I was very lucky with that, but I was already working in 2 other schools part-time as a special educator that time. So I was very, but I knew one thing is that I knew I wanted to come back to Goa and give my best. But I had a 25 lakhs loan thing on my head. So I knew I had to repay that. And my father wanted to see England that time. So I knew I had to make enough money to get him. So I stayed back, I worked there.
But I'm sure that by now you must have completed most of the portions so that we can expect you sooner you will be back in Goa.
No, when I was in UK itself, I made so much because I didn't have anybody there, and I am very hardworking. Like, and I was not partying and all that. So I had a full-time teaching job from 7:30 to 3:30, and then after that from 5 to 8 I worked at another place. So I made enough money, and when I came back on a holiday, like I told my father, I said, I've cleared the loan and this is the extra for you. And he was like, why did you work so hard? And I told him, no, I didn't work hard. I went to France for a holiday.
Good. See, I must really congratulate you, and you're very sincere, very dedicated. My question to you is that what is new in this management of dyslexia? Like what you have mentioned in your book. Like, see, what is our traditional thinking, especially in India and maybe in Goa? See, we are not separate from India. See, we have one, as you said, like, it is dyslexia. It is not a special entity as such. It is a part of one abnormal behavior, maybe subnormal behavior of children, whatever you can say. So, how, if you want to say, like, say now, as you have rightly said, you have cleared the loan, so we can expect you that you can. I am not saying that you will be in Goa itself, maybe in India. Then, if you want to go ahead with managing such institutions or such children, what will be your practical approach and how you like to go ahead?
Yeah, you know, when in 2009 we formed our own NGO called Vision Education Society, so that it becomes difficult when you work for somebody or when you preach. People want to see how the ideas are put into practice. So we decided to form an NGO. So a few of the family members and friends, like-minded friends, got together and we formed the NGO. Now through this NGO we have been spreading awareness in schools, training teachers to understand what is dyslexia, training them to provide coping strategies. But I must say one thing, it's different in Europe, it's different in Dubai, because the ratio is less. We like the school where I work, we have 1:15. Plus there's a teaching assistant plus 2 classroom assistants. So it's like, a teacher works with 4 students at a time.
I see.
Yeah, so it's different. Even though it's not a dyslexia school, it's a regular school.
I see.
Yeah, but whereas in Goa, it's like I have seen some schools. I remember once I went for training workshop, they gave me the attendance register. And I was just doing this training thing for children in life skills, and we had the certificates to be given. They gave me the register, and I just wrote the names on the first side, the first 30 names, and they said there are more 35 at the back. And I was like, no, 65 students, we cannot do it. And the teacher said, no, I do it every day. So, we have vast number of students. So, and the curriculum is vast. There's parental expectations from the head of the school. So, it's difficult.
Now let me ask you, with this modern days so-called techno-savvy world, is there any possibility of how we can tackle this issue on a larger scale? See, in a country like India, what I'm trying to ask you is, see, not one-to-one or maybe like just 4 children. See, basically India is a very developing country. But still, resources can be motivated, can be utilized if proper direction and proper concern is shown by the authorities. So my point is that tomorrow, if you want to put, see whatever resources available, now you are available, see now you have seen what is available in Goa, what is available in India, and you are also aware of what is happening abroad. Can we utilize some of the services? Because now everything is global. There is nothing like Indian and Western. But can we utilize some of the services to bring up the lifestyle of these children?
Yes.
Or bring some, add some light to this.
You know, first I would like to tell you, like, no two dyslexic children are the same.
Yeah.
So if I say this resource has worked for me, it will not work for you if you have dyslexia. So you have to basically see the individual needs of the child. Yeah. So if, like how you asked me earlier, like if you see the signs of dyslexia, get the child assessed. You know, get a neuropsychological evaluation done or with the psychologist, and the psychologist will tell whether this child is an auditory learner, tactile learner, kinesthetic learner. So based on that, based on the individual needs of the child, like some children are very techno-savvy, whereas some will not like to work with a laptop, iPad. So based on that, and if you if you go to Google and just type like IT solutions to dyslexia, you will get a lot of things. And then based on those descriptions there, you can make out, okay, my child is a kinesthetic learner, so I will bring something which is very hands-on for my child. If a child is auditory, then you have to buy auditory software for the child. So it depends. But you know, the good thing about Goa is, like, there are children who are like Goa has the potential to be the first dyslexia-friendly state in India. Firstly, because we are a small state.
Correct.
We are a very literate state, and like when the Chief Minister launched the book, I realized that he has very progressive ideas about creating dyslexia-friendly schools in Goa. Like I think I heard from somebody that he's formed a special educational needs policy and those kind of things, and he's working towards this whole thing. Besides that, he's given these iPads, laptops for children. So this technology that can be given, instead of just giving it to them, we have to make it more learner-friendly. Not just for dyslexic learners, but for everybody. And teachers have to be equipped, rather than teachers thinking like, oh, I got a TV in the class, or I got these iPads. They can use it to make learning more friendly. And you know, even if you have 65 children in the class, if you use technology friendly and if you are better prepared for your lessons, it will be effectively implemented. You won't feel the pressure of teaching 65 students in the class.
That's what means. Why I was asking you this question is basically with these present gadgets, whether we can utilize. See, people like you are not so many, because that only few of maybe handful of people who are professionally trained will be available in India. Forget in Goa. So what is my point? That suppose if we go ahead with some this thing, okay, we have some training programs maybe under you or in association with you, definitely we can go ahead.
You know, I have realized one thing, like I have done a lot in the last 4 or 5 years. I've done a lot of free programs for schools. And when I come back after 6 months and I go to see, nothing has been put in place. Our teachers are very resistant to change.
Basically they are rigid.
They feel like, oh, and one more thing to do. Even, you know, the government started this comprehensive continuous evaluation, which is a very good thing, especially for children with learning difficulties, to give them a report saying these are the strengths of the child, rather than always focusing on the weakness and telling the mother, your child can't do this, your child can't do that. It's a nice thing to specify the strengths first, and then end it up by saying your child needs more help with this, you and I can work together, those kind of things. But our teachers are not open to change. And I'm not saying this only of the older teachers, even the young teachers who are passing out, they're not open to put new, they just feel it's extra work. But if a little bit of extra is put by the teacher, a child will put a much more, because you know this, you know, it's like knowing that the child, everybody knows that a child can understand if a teacher is working for his good, or if the teacher is looking at him just as another struggling
basically we have to create a synergistic environment. It is not just, because often what happens, as you have rightly said, sometimes they are also over, they say, okay, already I am managing 4 classes. So in this additional, because this actually fact is this, so especially in primary schools, a lot of places, 4 classes, 3 classes are managed by one teacher. So when you tell something, they feel this is overburden, and then they want to, they don't have that friendly approach to it. They know there are some students in that class. They also say, okay, parents should look into the matter. Parents feel teachers should look into the matter. Parents feel, okay, when the child is in the school, so I am getting rid of my child. When children, teachers feel, okay, when the teacher go home. So I always say that the teachers in the heart of the parents and parents in the heart of the teachers should look at this such problem.
And another thing I just recently came to know is that the current government has sent counselors to schools. Now, I met a few schools, and what they felt was that the counselor was just dumped on them. Whereas the government has done it with a good intention of providing support to these children. Like, you know, like where the counselor works with the parents, and it's like a bridge between the parents and the school.
I'll just like to interrupt you. Can you tell us some incidences where such type of children have come to a normal status, maybe after your training, maybe abroad, wherever you are working. What is the setup, like how you manage such children? Like, maybe 1, 2 episodes, I don't mind.
You know, I have worked with most of the children who have dyslexia in Dubai. And they, like, you know, when they come to me, like when I first saw the report, I was like, no, I cannot achieve anything. But then, you know, like with the use of the multisensory approach, like when the first time when you talk to the child is like, not another tuition teacher. Like they don't know this is a therapist. You cannot use the word therapist and all with them. Like they will think, no, nothing is wrong with me. So the first step is to build a rapport, gain the confidence of the child, make the child know that I like you the way you are, you have your strengths, you are intelligent, I'm just helping you to use your intelligence to cope up with this learning difficulty.
So definitely such children can be brought to the normal status.
And then, you know, once you have built the self-esteem of the child, built a rapport with the child, and then you draw up an individualized education program, because by the time you have had 2-3 sessions of rapport building and all that, you know, like this is the child's strength. Like I remember once, like, you know, when I first started it, like I started working on a child thinking the child is a visual learner, and nothing was working for 2 months, and I kept telling the mother, I don't think I'm the right person for him. And then I just told the mother, maybe I will use visual and auditory, and you won't believe, in 2 weeks the child made so much of progress. So sometimes it's just, you know, we shouldn't have a one-track mind. Use a multisensory approach, but as you are doing things like with the multisensory approach, find out what the child likes. Maybe the child likes to do by seeing, hearing, playing, doing things like that.
Madam Remediana, in fact, I must congratulate you for taking this path. I'm optimistic, though you are working abroad right now. I'm sure soon you will come back to Goa, and whatever you have learned, whatever you have put into practice will definitely going to benefit. Right now I can say global village, but definitely our children, our students, our parents will also get the support. Since we are running short of time, I thank you very much for your sincere efforts, and you are very practical, and second thing that you have all the open heart and you have confessed everything and the needs everything. So nice of you. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.